From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, a search is underway for a 16-year-old girl who has been missing from her home near Murphy Dome Road since yesterday.
That's right. According to family members, Lyra Bishop hasn't been seen since around 5 p.m. yesterday. Alaska State Troopers, along with the Paws Rescue Group, have been searching the area with helicopters, ATVs, and on foot. Family members also reported that the U.S. military has been assisting in the search. Due to the missing girl's age, family members believe she could be in danger and are asking anyone who may have seen her to contact troopers. Friends and family haven't heard from the teenager via phone, social media, or any devices for 24 hours now.
About 24 hours ago, we discovered our daughter was missing, and we believe she left the house, and we don't know how exactly. We've had a tremendous amount of support from the troopers and from the PAWS folks, and the military as well has assisted. So we've had a lot of people searching all day, and I think some people working on it last night as well. So we are obviously very worried. And
a Superior Court judge has issued an arrest warrant for a Fairbanks man accused of drug possession. 37-year-old Brandon Barron was ordered to appear in court this afternoon in order to finalize a plea deal with the state and be sentenced. Barron is accused of selling methamphetamines to a police informant during a controlled buy. According to state prosecutors, the amount sold was less than a gram, but Barron has a long-standing criminal history, including felony assaults, burglary, and other drug charges. That record kept Superior Court Judge Blankenship from accepting an earlier deal with the state. Today, a $20,000 warrant was issued for Barron's arrest. Once in custody, Barron will not be able to leave without a court-approved third-party custodian.
Today was the 130th day of the legislative session that was supposed to end on April 19th. The Alaska House of Representatives debated on the operating budget yesterday and resumed today. A large number of amendments were introduced by the Democrat-led minority caucus. Now, most failed along caucus lines. The amendments asked for such things as add-backs to public education, the Office of Children's Services, and the University of Alaska system. They also asked for decreases to tax credits to oil companies. Furlough notices will be in the mailboxes of over 16,000 state workers by Monday, informing them of the possible layoffs effective June 30th.
Since there's an active piece of legislation, that amendment can't be put on, that bill can't be on a bill that's sitting on the House floor. It circumvents the system.
13 removes just a few lines that say the governor can never take, the state of Alaska can never take Medicaid expansion. It removes that, and so it's sort of language neutral.
U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski made it an even dozen today, hosting her 12th annual spring luncheon here in Fairbanks. Now, last year, the senator could only speculate on the basing of 2 squadrons of F-35s fighter jets at Eielson Air Force Base. Today, there was no speculation.
Eielson is it. We're not looking at other locations. Eielson is it.
While the final basing decision is expected next year, all signs point towards Eielson hosting the state-of-the-art jets. Senator Murkowski continued to speak on the difference a year makes, as she is now the member of a Republican-led U.S. Senate and chairs the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Murkowski spent a fair amount of time talking about the host of acronyms which are floated around Washington, D.C. One in particular, WOTUS, which stands for Waters of the United States, has her irritated. It's a new rule rolled out this week by the Environmental Protection Agency designed to clarify waters covered under the Clean Water Act. Murkowski calls WOTUS an expansion of the EPA's power, which she claims the agency does not have the authority to do.
Absolutely an expansion of their power in a way that I think is unparalleled with its boldness and really its inappropriateness. They do not have that authority to basically encircle areas and say that this is now waters of the U.S. and as such you are limited in terms of your opportunities to develop. So we are going to push back on that on a number of different fronts.
All right, when we come back, the Division of Forestry says people are doing a good job at being fire-wise and are urged to keep it up.
All right, and also how to keep pests out of your garden. We'll tell you all about that during our garden tips, so those stories plus more when we return. And welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. With fewer human-caused fires across the state of Alaska and a minimal amount of fire citation to those making illegal burns in the interior, the Alaska Division of Forestry is saying the public is doing a good job. Just don't quit being fire-wise. Division of Forestry Fire Prevention Officer Michael Goyette says only one individual has been cited as a result of fire during a burn suspension period. Goyette says vegetation is now greening in the interior, and as a result, burn suspensions will be lifted more often. But the responsibility of burning material in a safe manner must be respected. For those planning to do open burning, make sure there's enough gravel and dirt at the base of the fire to prevent a runaway flame and to have enough water at hand to put fires out. Goyette says burn permits are still required and are easily obtainable at local fire departments as well as online.
The woods are still dry, so even though we're allowing burning, that's for typically people in their yards where it's safe. If you're out in the woods trying to do the same thing, it's not going to be as safe as it would be in your yard. And we take that into consideration, and that's the other reason why, if it's raining, we may still have a burn suspension in place, because the rain's not covering the entire area and it may not be penetrating the tree canopy to make the woods safe as well.
And now it's time for gardening tips. The topic of the day: how to keep pests out of your greenhouse.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Garden Tips. I'm Darcy Etcheverry with the Cooperative Extension Service, and we're here at Hometown Nursery to talk a bit about greenhouse pests. Greenhouses are an excellent way to extend the season and create an environment to grow things that don't often grow as well in the outdoors here in Fairbanks, Alaska. Things like tomatoes and certain types of flowers. But in these hot, humid environments, you can harbor some pests that can be potentially damaging and lower the yields of your crops. But if you notice that you have them already in your greenhouse, you can try doing things like dislodging them with sprays of water, and even applying certain types of insecticides like neem oils and insecticidal soaps. If you do choose to go the route of insecticides, make sure that the crop that you're growing is listed on the label and that you're spraying it at the right time to disrupt the life cycle of the pest. And so to do that, you need to know which type of pest you have, and we can help with that with identification through the Extension Service. The hot, humid weather inside a greenhouse can promote fungal problems. So to help overcome that, make sure to have some type of air circulation in your greenhouse and try to decrease humidity. And you can do that by letting the top of your soil dry out a bit between waterings. If you have too much moisture, you can have fungal problems at the soil base, and you can promote certain types of insects like fungus gnats. You can put out yellow sticky cards in your greenhouse to monitor for insect pests and see if populations are building up to a level that you are not okay with. Thank you everyone, and that's it for today. Please join us next week as we give you more tips on how to make your garden more beautiful and productive here in Fairbanks.
Gardening Tips, brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
All right, well, Mike Fussell is in the sports seat next, filling in for Joe Cook, who's down in Anchorage.
That's right. He'll have the latest results from the state soccer and track competitions.
Interesting.
Stay with us. Yeah.
And welcome back, Interior Alaska. I'm Mike Fussell, filling in for Joe Cook, who's down in Anchorage, covering the state track and field and soccer tournaments, and that's where we'll start for tonight. In high school track state finals, Lathrop's Jared Welch took to the high jump earlier today at Diamond High School. Welch cleared 6 feet 3 inches on his first attempt. That jump made him one of 3 finalists moving on to the next series of approaches at 6 feet 5 inches. The Malamute just barely hit the bar, while Bryce Hellman of Bartlett was able to clear it and win the title. Hutchison's Lena Heinrichs also got vertical earlier. She cleared 5 feet to claim a repeat 1 through 3 A girls title. For more state track and field results, check in tomorrow during the weekend sportscast, where we'll take a look at a number of races featuring interior athletes.
The first 2 were kind of not good approaches, but the last 5'2" one felt good, but it was my last approach, so it was sort of just get my speed up and go for it. It's good. It's the last time I'll high jump, so it's nice to win. Yeah.
And the West Valley girls soccer team is down in Anchorage at States, and so are the boys, and our cameras are there to capture the action.
Met up with the Wasilla girls yesterday evening at Eagle River High School, and this wasn't the first time the two teams have seen each other either. West Valley played the Warriors in their first game of the year. West won it 1-0. On Thursday, Wasilla came out hot with several near goals, but just couldn't find the back of the net. This allowed West Valley's Kira Simpson to slip one past the Wasilla keeper with 7 minutes left in the first half. That put the Wolfpack up 1-0 going into the break. And that's how the score would stay until the final whistle. West Valley goalie Lane Pomeroy helped keep the Warriors at bay with a shutout performance.
It feels really good. This is a good start for our tournament, and we just really want it overall as a team. It's awesome for the freshmen and a great giveaway or present to the seniors.
The win catapulted them to the next round of tournament play against Kenai. The Wolfpack scored one unanswered point in the first half thanks to the work of striker Grace Marks.
I didn't think I was going to make that. I thought Kiara had that, but she whiffed and I was kind of glad because I got to score. But she's an amazing player, and I guess it was just, the focus and movement, I guess.
And the Pack kept the momentum alive with a Rio Geiger goal near the end of the game. That gave them the 2-0 win over Kenai and sends them to the state finals to play the winner of the South and Service game.
We wanted to get back post because the field is really small. It's a lot smaller than what we've been playing on, so trying to get back post. It's amazing. I'm so excited. We deserve this. We are undefeated for all conference.
And the West Valley boys soccer team was matched up against powerhouse Juneau Douglas for the first round of state tournament play at Eagle River Thursday. West Valley's Meki Omnick played well defensively for the Pack, but it was just not enough to outshoot the Crimson Bears. The Wolfpack would go on to lose 3-0. Juneau's Ryan Hoover scored 2 of the team's points. The West Valley boys are now headed to play in the consolation bracket.
And the Lathrop boys baseball team secured a spot at the MAC finals last night. The top-seeded Malamutes took on the #2 West Valley Wolfpack at Groudon Memorial Park. The game started out close as the two teams went back and forth throughout the first 3 innings. Then in the fourth, Lathrop went full throttle, scoring 8 runs, 7 of those with 2 outs already down in the inning. The Malamutes would go on to win it 16-12. The victory guarantees the team a state tournament berth. Lathrop will play the winner of the consolation bracket tomorrow for the MAC title afternoon at Groudon Park. And high school softball teams are beginning to wrap up their seasons as well. The Hutchinson Lady Hawks took on the North Pole Patriots last night at the South Davis Field. Hutch won the 3-2 nail-biter and clinched the MAC title in the process. The team is now guaranteed a spot at the state tournament next weekend here in Fairbanks. West Valley was on the mound last night as well. The Wolfpack lost to Wasilla 12-1, and the Colony Knights came to town. They swept both Lathrop and North Pole yesterday evening. And now we'll finish off with the play of the week. Taylor DeAngelis took the top spot by a landslide with the back-to-back saves for North Pole Patriots in a soccer loss to West Valley last week. DeAngelis really showcased work ethic in the first half of the match when everything was on the line for the Patriots. And to vote for the next play of the week, watch for the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Monday during the weekend recap with Joe Cook. And that brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Thanks for checking in with us. Your full weather forecast is coming up next.
Welcome back to the weather segment of our broadcast. Mike is still out and not feeling well. I'm not so much either, but at least I'm good enough to come in here and give you your weather heading into the weekend. Let's get started by taking a look at our almanac. Well, high today, 64 degrees. Low, overnight low, 46 degrees, currently 59. Record high set in 1947, 90 degrees, a scorcher. That compares to a record low of 30 degrees set in 1934, the 60-degree swing right there. Sunrise was at 3:46. It was set at 11:55, giving us 20 hours, 9 minutes of daylight, gain of 7 minutes over yesterday. Okay, go ahead and take a look at our Alaskan satellite. Not much to see for the interior. As you can see, there is a storm system developing off the west coast, but nothing here in the interior. A lot of high pressure making that happen. Some smaller systems affecting the Anchorage Bowl area, but other than that, pretty picture for Alaska. Let's go ahead and take a look at those Alaska weather conditions for today. Fort Yukon, 59, a little chilly for them today. Barrow, warmer, 40 degrees. Well, Bethel, 59, checking in. Cold Bay, 48. And once again, some cooler weather for the Anchorage Bowl area because of those storms, 65 degrees. And Juneau, a scorcher at 76 degrees. That's not normal, folks. 71 even for Ketchikan. Nice day for them. Let's go ahead and take a look down in the lower 48 and see what we can see. As you can see, not much happening on the west coast, especially, but Seattle is enjoying some very moderate, temperate weather down there, 79 degrees for them. Still yet more rain for the central and southern states. Dallas seeing more rain and flooding everywhere across that state. In fact, the good majority of Dallas and parts of Oklahoma are in states of emergency declaration because of all the rain there. New Orleans and Miami also a little moisture there for them today, but temperatures in the 80s. On the East Coast, Northeast actually, New York looking fine at 82. D.C. cooling down a bit from their 90-degree readings they had yesterday, but looking better for Minneapolis. Let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite radar. You can see that band of moisture affecting pretty much those southern states, like I said, but even moving up north to the Northeast, that should be in play by this weekend, possibly overnight into tomorrow. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, this is kind of strange. You still see those strong thunderstorms late evening projected for much of Texas and Oklahoma. And I don't doubt that possibly some tornado action could happen too if those storms get stronger. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for this weekend. Jet stream normalizing out, but still very warm and dry conditions for the west coast. Thunderstorms towards the central and east coast as well. Let's go back up to Alaska, take a look at, wow, well, let's see here. I don't know, you see it? It's going really quick now for us, but that's all right. We'll go ahead and just say more of today. What you saw today around the state, that's probably going to happen for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and move right past that. Short-term forecast tomorrow, 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies, becoming clear. And then, of course, taking a look at our extended outlook, 70s for the weekend. It'll get cooler toward the work week beginning next week, 66 degrees on Tuesday, but warming right back up on Wednesday, 73 degrees. And overnight lows, get this, actually now in the upper 40s. So that's good to see this time of year, especially if you're a gardener and you want to make sure that your garden is put in and no chance of frost.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah, you know, I abbreviated version.
We wanted to get you guys right into the weekend, so
exactly.
Fly through that.
Yeah, very good.
It's going to be nice. That's all you need to know.
It's really nice, but a lot of the local sports are going to be down in Anchorage instead of up here. So
yeah, so they won't get to experience that. But you know, it's nice down there too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially when you're outdoors in track competitions.
Exactly.
Cooler temperatures in the 60s, perfect conditions.
Yeah, maybe help with times.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
All right, NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt is up next.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.